everyone, my name is Bilikis. You're welcome to a brand new tutorial. Today's tutorial will be on how to make this trendy kimono dress, and trust me, it's very beautiful and easy to make. Before we get started, are you subscribed? Yes, you, are you subscribed? If not, take some time to hit on the red button and subscribe. Don't mind me. So don't forget to join us on Facebook, Sewing Innovation, that is our sewing group, on Instagram, and Bilikis Signatures. Let's get started. I'll be making use of this fabric, and it's just 2 yards, but it depends on the length in which you want. But I have 2 yards here, which is okay. So for the front, I want it to be 32 inches with hemming allowance inclusive. You can decide what you want, while the remaining part will be for the back. I want the back to be a bit lower. Yours could even be more. It depends on how you want it. So what I did is this, because I'll be working with this part of the fabric. It's going to be like this on me. So what I'll do is this. I'll just have to fold it over. Let me just open it up. So I'll fold it over here. But because I want to cut it together, what I'll do, I will fold in such a way that this upper part is 32 inches. So after folding, I have this place to be 32 inches. So that will be for the front. So the remaining excess will now be for the back. So after doing that, I'll now have to fold it this way. So I'll now have to fold it this way. So now this is for the front because this is higher while this is lower. So let's get started. Let's get started. After folding, the first thing I would insert is the 3 inches, 8 inches standard because of the slope. So first, 3 inches. After marking that, I just hope my chalk is visible. The next thing will be the 8 inches. So this is what I have, 3 inches, 8 inches standard. Then from here, I'll just come down by 1 inch. I haven't done that. I'll now have to connect from the 3 inches straight down till the end. Let me see. So I'm using my 1 meter ruler. So this is still available in case you are interested. I'll put the contact number in the description box below and also in the comment section. So now I have my shoulder slope straight down. So the next thing is this, before we talk about the neckline, or better still, let's just work with that. So now you can decide to use the amount of neck width you want or neck depth. That totally depends on you. You could maintain the 3 inches here and then curve it, like you can have like 3 inches by 3 inches. After that, you have a slit in front, but I just want a wider neck, so I don't want to do that. But that totally depends on you. So for this now, I will make the width 4 inches. 4 inches. So my 4 inches is here. So this is my 4 inches width. So now for the back, I will make a depth of 1 inch. That is for the back. Then for the front, I will make it 4 or 3.5. Let me just make it 3.5. That's for the front neck depth. But the width is 4 inches. Then I'll get my armhole to curve it. Now for the back. So this is for the back neckline. Can you see that? Then for the front, this is what I have. So you can rotate your armhole however you want it. If you want a perfect U neck, that would be this way. But I want it to like that. So this is what I have. Hope you can see that. So this is for the back, and this is for the front. So having done that, we are almost through. I will just come over to this side. This part will be pleated. It will be pleated to fit into your band. So what do? The minimum you should do is about 12 inches. So if you are slim, you can make use of 12. 11, 12 is okay. But for me, I will make use of 15 to 16. So from here, I'll just make it, let me just make use of 15. So which is here. Can you see that? So by the time we pleat it, it will fit into our band and it will have that nice look. So having done that now, what I will do is from that 15 inches, I will come in by 1.5 or 2 inches. So that depends on you. So let me just make use of 1.5. So this is 1.5 inward from that 15 inches to connect from here straight down. Now going to the front and the back, you can decide to leave this front part straight. You can decide to make it curvy. So now if you want it straight, just leave this part straight, but I want it to be curvy. So what I will do is this. I'll just come up by 2 inches. You could make use of 3 inches. That totally depends on your preference. So this is 2 inches. Then from here I'll have to curve it. Hope you can see what I have. So you can go higher. That totally depends on you. So that is for the front. Then for the back, all I have to do, you can just make it straight. If you want it to be straight, you just use your ruler from the edge to make it straight. But I also want it to be curvy. So what do I do? From this edge, I will just connect straight down here. Hope you can see that. So that's what I have. So this is for the front and this is for the back. But we are going to cut out the back first, then later remove the front. Before I cut, don't forget this part. Remember we came in by 2 inches. So I'll just take my ruler to connect to the edge. You see that? So back is off. So you leave the front because you can't cut it together. So the next thing now is for me to take it so now I stop here, then cut off this part. Don't cut into your main fabric. Can you see that? Now we go to the upper part. First I'll have to cut off the back neckline. Then this shoulder slope, you see how it looks. So right now I will remove the front from the back. This is the front, this is the front, this is the back. So I'll just have to keep this aside, then work on the front. Before I cut off the neckline and this lower part, what I want to do now is I want to get rid of some fabric at the side area from the front panel. Why? Because I want the side seam to come a little bit to the front so as to bring the beauty of the outfit. So what do? I just take my measuring tape from the edge. Let me see that. So from the edge, I'll just come in by 3 inches. 3 inches is quite okay. Then I will need this back pattern because the side seam has to match no matter what fabric you took off of that. So place it this way. Can you see that? Make sure it matches there. Then I'll have to move this a little bit forward. Can you see this? Can you see that? So that means after cutting this off, the front will still match with the back side seam. Can you see that? Then I can take this off and then continue cutting. So first let me just cut this off. So this is what I have. Then I'll have to trim this off. What it looks like now. Then I will trim off the front neckline. This is what the front looks like. Can you see that? So this is the front. So I'll show you the back. Now this is the back. So this is the neckline. This is the back. If possible, you can even have a button here, just a tiny slit. So it depends on your preference, however you want it to be. So let me just place the front panel on it. So this is the front. So like this, as I've said, if you want a slit, just 4 inches is okay into it. So can you see? So this will be the sleeve. You can see this curves inward, that comes upward. Can you see the excess I cut off? So by the time I sew it, it will bring the beauty. Before we start sewing, let us cut the band for the sleeve. The next stage now is to sew. What do? We just have to sew this first. Just take 1 centimeter is okay, like 1/4 inch. You sew it all down. You sew it all down before we finish the neckline. But now, before we continue, we now have to cut the band for the sleeve. Because I made use of 2 yards and I don't have any other fabric left. So what I will do now is to use another fabric. So I will use more of this fabric for the band. So let me just fold this away, then we'll talk on the band. For the band, I want it to be 2.5 inches. That is like this. I want it to be 2.5, but I'll cut out 3. Then I made it by 18. Actually, I want the sleeve to be 16, but I made it 18. So by the time I take in 1 inch on both sides, then I'll have 16. So how do you get the circumference of that? Just measure somewhere around your elbow. So whatever measurement you get, then you can use that. So I am using 16, but this is actually 18 because I will take 1 inch on both sides to sew it together this way. So this is what I will have. So as I've said, I want it to be 2.5, but I made it 3 inches. But remember, it will be on fold. So that means I cut out 18 by 6. So by the time I fold it, it is 3. When I fold this in, when I attach it to the gather sleeve, it becomes 2.5. So that is that. Then I made use of the lightest interfacing, usually called paper stay, just to make it stiff and stable. Let's continue. Now I've sewn the shoulder area and also the neckline. So this is what it looks like. The next thing now is to open it up. Let me open it up. So now can you see this? So I'll have to sew with a basing stitch, the longest stitch on your sewing machine, to be able to gather this. So I'll sew this and then gather to the size of my band. Right now I've gathered the sleeve. Looking at it, this is what I have. So what I did was to overlock the edge of this band. So what I will do now, the easiest way is to attach this on the right side. So once you attach it this way, then you just sew 1/2 inch. So you sew it all down. After sewing it, then you top stitch. That is all seam towards the main fabric. Then you top stitch, then it stays so well. So I'll show you. After gathering it and sewing it, this is what it looks like. Can you see? It's so beautiful already. So looking at the sleeve, can you see the way I did it? So after attaching it this way, joining it together, then I made sure all the seams goes towards the main fabric this way. Then I now had to top stitch on the upper part. So this will like make the band stand so well. So this is what it looks like. Can you see that? So the next thing for me now is to turn it to the wrong side to finish it up. So this is it. So I'll just make sure, can you see the sides matches so well? You see that? So what will I do now? I will now have to sew 1 inch. Can you see that? So I'll have to sew 1 inch this way and curve it straight down to the edge. After that, I will do the other side. Then I'll have to fold this in. You could just fold it in yourself, like 1 inch or 1/2 inch is okay. Or better still, you could use a bias strip if you cannot walk around a curve area. So let me just do that to show you how it looks. This is is the result of the outfit we just made. You can see it's so beautiful. You can see, as I've said, you can decide how high you want it to be, how low you want it to be. Looking at the back, can you see that it's so beautiful? You could even make it go all down. You could make it into a gown, and it will come out so perfect. Just believe me. And then to add more volume to it, you could add gaudet to the sides to give it more volume, which will add to the beauty. And another thing, if you use a non-cotton fabric, it's going to be wow. Trust me. So just make yours, share with us on our Facebook group, Sewing Innovations. Follow me on Instagram, Bilikis Signature, subscribe, and bye.